In order to heal the gut, we want to start with eliminating the gut injuring foods. It always comes down to elimination first and then adding things in. But the reflex of most of you people is the thought that we have to add in more, always adding more supplements, more foods, more protein powders, whatever. But that's not the case. We first want to strip down to then rebuild, all right? So we want to build a base of elimination first and then integrate the things that are going to help rebuild or heal the gut lining. So the body is self-healing, and we want to create an environment so that the body can efficiently heal. All right. So when we think of eliminating gut injuring foods, we want to start with the things that are habitual, like the morning coffee, right? First thing in the morning, many guys drink coffee or a strong espresso or something, and if not coffee, they drink tea or eat cacao or whatever, some sort of stimulation, right? Also, alcohol at midday in the evening, none of that. We want to completely avoid it. Most vegetables as well, because they have indigestible fiber. That's why we cook vegetables, but then still the fiber is not really well digested. So, all kinds of fiber, unripe fruits, and of course, grains and legumes, these are very hard to digest because of their high fiber content. We all want to avoid those because they cause fermentation, they cause bloating, these cause also parasitic or bacterial overgrowth. And this is, of course, the root of the endotoxins that are then released and the leakiness of the gut, right? So all the fiber is not helping your gut in many ways. It can help in some people, a little bit fiber. Fiber content is highly individual. But if there is a really problematic gut issue, then you want to almost go zero fiber, all right? And then we have A1 dairy. So this has to do with the casein protein. Many people don't digest A1 very well. Some do, but also in larger amounts, A1 dairy can be irritating to the gut and cause also all kinds of problems. What you want is A2 dairy. So this is the very first step, eliminate the gut injuring foods. Step 2 is to implement two very simple things. Be more active during the day. Why is this? The more active you are, the more you're gonna rely on your metabolism. And what does your metabolism do? It increases the transit time. So it basically stimulates your bowels to work faster. And when your bowels work faster, there is not much time for the bacteria to start um, like produce fermented byproducts, or there is no time for fermentation, etc. And therefore, you get a kind of clean environment in your intestines. The faster the transit time, the better, because there is then no time for bacterial overgrowth. All right. Also, the more active you are, the more you move, the more circulation there is, the more you basically massage your organs, right? Because if you're moving your organs in your stomach area, they are basically massaged. They are also in movement basically. Higher vitamin D levels is step two. So vitamin D is super good for immune function. If we have high vitamin D levels from the sun, then our digestion also will improve. So, vitamin D is related to healthy bacterial strains, to less leakiness of the gut, and better immune function. However, if it is autumn or winter time and you don't have a lot of sunlight, you can easily supplement it with cod liver oil. Always go for a natural product and not synthetic vitamin D. So, two things: be more active and get in more vitamin D. Step three is fasting. So, how long should you fast? This really depends on how big of an issue you have with your gut, But normally a 3-day fast, so a whole weekend starting on Friday and ending on Sunday, that will really like help probably 80 or 90% of the issues. All right. So what does fasting do? When there is no food available, the bad bacteria inside your intestines will starve out. So fasting is really great for reducing endotoxin, and it's this endotoxin that causes inflammation, that lowers your production of thyroid hormones, of testosterone, androgen hormones, etc. All right. So fasting starves basically out the bad bacteria so that the good ones can overgrow again, and it balances your bacterial environment out. A 1-day fast can also, of course, benefit. So if you want to do a couple 1-day fasts, great. But if you want to see real results, I recommend minimum 3-day fast. So prepare for it. Prepare in a weekend that you can fast for 3 solid days. So what else do we have here? Yeah, fasting ameliorates the microbiome. And yeah, keep in mind, fasting can become dangerous. So there is this whole fasting culture. If you caloric restrict too much, this will also be stressful and not healthy. So what I recommend is just a couple of 3-day fasts during the year, preferably with the seasonal changes, so you can give your body and digestive system a rest. All right, your digestive system needs to rest from time to time, which is why we have to implement fasting as a lifestyle and not as a day-to-day thing. And then we want to implement gut healing foods, of course. So the easiest to digest foods we can categorize in 4 types: all kinds of meat. So basically nose to tail, and what is the other saying? Shell to fish to shell, or I don't know, something with shellfish and fishes. So anything that's an animal can be eaten, and that will be almost entirely be digested. So everything from an animal, whether it's meat, organs, glands, bones, marrow, and then also shellfish, fish. All of these things can be eaten and are will heal the gut. So protein is necessary, and protein is the like only macro that will help and heal the gut the fastest. Raw A2 dairy, so we need to counteract the phosphorus from the meat and the organs with calcium. And raw dairy is also great because it contains enzymes and bacteria, and this will favor the gut. And raw dairy, such as raw milk, has also the beneficial protein for healing the gut lining, right? We also need some carbohydrates from ripe fruit and honey. So, honey is really great. It's very rapidly digested, as do fruits are. However, some people still have problems with digesting fruit, and if that's the case, you can either do fruit juices or cook your fruit, like make a jam out of it, or just stew your fruits, like stewed apples or pears or something, and that will further break down the fiber to make it more digestible. So to yeah simplify it, it's basically meat, dairy, fruit, and honey. And then finally, healthy eating habits. So rely more on your intuition than logic. So sometimes I see this a lot on social media in the current health community, that it's very very logical, it's very cerebral, it's very calculated, and this is not really a nice way to go about diet and health, right? We have to be intuitive, and if something is not working for us, then we simply don't have to do that, right? So, using our intuition, our body is smart enough and it tells us signals continuously. So, we have to listen to the feedback of our body. So, even if we look at our intuition, we respect our intuition, and it goes against logic, still do it. If it brings results and if you feel good by it, then listen to your intuition. Keep water intake separate from eating. So this is also a common mistake. People eat or drink while they're eating, and they tend to drink a lot, and this can also mess up digestion as it dilutes the digestive juices. Never eat when too stressed, and focus on eating in a calm state. So if you're eating while you're stressed, you won't be digesting much because, of course, the sympathetic nervous system shuts down the digestive system, and you need to be in a state of parasympathetic system, so in a state of rest and digest, to be able to eat and digest your food properly. It is better to eat multiple small meals than 3 large meals. So this is for gut health important, but also for metabolism, so that we can get like a steady income of nutrients and macronutrients, so energy basically. So finally, we have use food for nourishment, but never forget to enjoy it. And this ties back to the first point. When you are on a certain diet, it can sometimes become too strict. You become too logical about it, and this is also not a good thing. You want to still be able to enjoy it, and yeah, also implement the emotional factor. This is what I want to say. Don't make it too rational or logical. Be intuitive and also emotional. So food is also it is for nourishment, but it also is for making you a happy person, right? And if we eat good foods, we will become more happy and healthy. So if you have very large gut problems, or you have a lot of questions about gut health, or you don't know where to start, please contact me on Instagram or Telegram, and I will get back to you.